Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera and very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 5th Annual General Meeting AGM of Apex Craft Manufacturing Berhad. I am Tan Sri Muhammad Akil bin Muhammad Fazila, Chairman of the Board of Apex Craft Manufacturing Berhad. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been informed by the Group Secretary that the quorum requirement for this AGM has been met pursuant to the company's constitution. I now declare the AGM open. I will be chairing our AGM today in my capacity as Chairman of the Board of Apex Craft Manufacturing Berhad. Allow me to introduce my fellow directors, senior management team and representatives of Messrs. PGS TWPLT, the auditors of the company who are all present at this AGM. Seated on my right here, Tan Sri Datuk Sri Abdul Hafiz Wafi bin Abdul Aziz, the Managing Director. Next is Tan Sri Datuk Haziq Azizi bin Muhammad Fakri. Next is Datuk Muhammad Rosiman bin Abdul Nasir. Seated on my left, Ms. Farah Jasmine binti Muhammad Rawi, the Company Secretary. Next is Datuk Siti Nur Halim binti Nur Rizal. Next, Ms. Nur Adil Shazwani binti Muhammad Sufian. Next to her, Ms. Nurul Husna binti Mansur. Seated at the back row are the senior management. I would like to introduce from right to left Datuk Fatin Shazwani binti Azmi, the Group Financial Controller. Ms. Nur Alia Amali binti Abdul Wahid, the Group Admin and HR Manager. Ms. Nur Masyarah Nabila binti Jamaluddin, the General Sales Manager. Next is Ms. Nur Shazani binti Muhammad Yusof, the Senior Manager, Sales and Marketing. Next is Ms. Nurin Izzati binti Muhammad bin Polly. Ms. Nurin Izzati binti Ahmad Zalani, the Finance and Operations Manager. Next to her is Ms. Siti Nur Shuhada binti Azman, the Factory Manager. And seated in the audience at the right of the stage are representatives from PwC, the auditors of the company. I would like to introduce Datuk Siti Syahrina binti Zainal Azhar, Executive Chairman PwC, and Ms. Dayan Shazwi Nazira binti Awam Wijaya, the scrutineer of PwC. The representatives from Servant Corporate Services Sdn Bhd, the company's share registrar, representatives from Boardroom Corporate Services Sdn Bhd, the scrutineers are also present in this AGM. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the board and management, I wish to thank you for your attendance at this AGM. I hope that as shareholders and proxy holders, you will take this opportunity to participate in the company's affairs by deliberating and voting on the resolutions put to you at this meeting. Information on the company, its activities, results and financial position as at 30 September 2023 are set out in the 2023 annual report, which has been posted to you on 15 January 2024. The Chairman's statement is contained on pages number 6 of the 2023 annual report. The notice of annual general meeting, which is enclosed on pages number 2 to number 4 of the 2022 annual report, has been sent to all the shareholders, Bursa Malaysia Securities Berhad, and the auditors of the company in accordance with the constitution of the company. I therefore suggest, with your permission, that the notice of the AGM to be taken as read. Ladies and gentlemen, As stated in the notice of AGM, we have fixed 15 January 2024 as the cut-off date for determining members entitled to attend, speak and vote at this AGM based on the general meeting record of depositors issued by the Bursa Malaysia Depository Sdn Bhd. As at today, the company has a total issued and paid up capital of 263,210 ringgit, comprising of 131,605 ordinary shares. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed with the business at hand, I would like to state that a total of 3 valid proxies forms were lodged within the stipulated time frame, representing 1,160 ordinary shares or 0.88% of the total ordinary shares of Apex Craft Manufacturing Berhad. For your information, as chairman of this meeting, I have received proxies from members whom I will vote as indicated in the proxy forms. Where a proxy vote has been given to me as chairman without voting instructions, I intend to vote in favor of each resolution. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to pass the briefing of voting procedures to the poll administrator. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 10 resolutions to be voted at this AGM today, as set out in the notice of AGM. Resolutions 2 to 9 are proposed as ordinary resolutions. For ordinary resolutions, a simple majority will be sufficient. For a special resolution, a majority of not less than 25% is required. Ladies and gentlemen, the company has appointed Atmo Digital Solutions Sdn Bhd as the poll administrator to conduct the polling process, and the Boardroom Corporate Services Sdn Bhd as the independent scrutinizers to verify the poll results. In order to conduct an orderly meeting and to give the opportunity to shareholders, proxies, holders to participate, I would like to provide an outline of this AGM's agenda. We will start the meeting with a presentation by Tan Sri Datuk Sri Abdul bin Abdul Aziz, the Managing Director, and Tan Sri Datuk Haji Azizi bin Muhammad Bakri, who will provide a brief review of the company's financial and operation highlights, challenges and outlook, and its strategic priorities going forward. We will then move on to take any question from shareholders in order to ensure effective use of our time at this AGM. I seek your cooperation and understanding to keep your questions and comments clear and concise, and to observe proper decorum. In order to provide shareholders and proxies with equal opportunity to raise questions or views at this AGM, I will, as and when necessary, request a shareholder or proxy having the floor to make way for another shareholder or proxy. Once all the resolutions set out in the notice of AGM have been presented, we will, with your consent, to adjourn this AGM. For your information, polling at this AGM will be conducted by way of electronic voting, e-voting, via the share registrar's e-vote application. Alternatively, shareholders or proxies can cast their votes using their own smartphone devices with access to the share registrar's e-vote application. The share registrar in Serban Corporate Services has set up help desk outside the ballroom to assist shareholders to download the e-vote application onto their smartphone devices and will assist on how to use the app. Steps on how to download the e-vote application are also available upon registration. The share registrar's staff will be going around the meeting room before the voting session to assist shareholders, proxies to download and use the e-vote application. We have been advised by the share registrar that the polling process through e-voting will take approximately 20 minutes. After completion of the polling process for both general meetings, please return to this ballroom for the declaration of the poll results of the AGM and EGM by PwC, the independent scrutineers. We will then conclude the AGM. Ladies and gentlemen, I shall invite Tan Sri Datuk Sri Abdul, the Managing Director, to take you through the company's performance and business.
Thank you, Tan Sri Chairman. Year 2021 and 2022 is a period of changes and improvements as we come out of the COVID-19 pandemic era. As we endure the disease prevention restrictions, Apex Craft Manufacturing Berhad had much time to closely examine our operations and tighten controls on areas we have neglected. On the financial front, for current financial year ended 30th September 2023, our local subsidiaries recorded profit improvement compared to 15-month financial period ended 30th September 2022. Before that, I will start with Apex Craft Manufacturing notable events of 2023. Apex Craft Manufacturing Berhad had a thermal project in 2023 where Song How 2 Power Company Limited (SH2P) had signed the term sheet for key commercial terms in relation to the engineering, procurement and construction, commissioning and startup of Song How 2 Thermal Power Plant project with Power Engineering Consulting Joint Stock Company 2, a listed company in the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. We also signed an interim engineering, procurement, construction and commissioning agreement interim EPCC with Sunway Construction Sdn Berhad and Sunway PECC consortium that set out all the negotiated terms and of the responsibilities of the respective parties. On the other hand, we did provide our employees with a training program where we collab our subsidiary EDM Machining Solutions Sdn Berhad, a subsidiary of the group with Vocational Tunku Abdul Rahman Vita and industrial partners to begin a training program in association. The training program kick-started in September 2022. In 2023, Apex Craft Manufacturing Berhad began adopting solar energy in the ETSB and EMSSB headquarters in Puchong. The solar panels began generating power in July 2022, resulting to the start of adopting solar energy in the ETSB and EMSSB headquarters in Puchong. This panel had bring the reduction of carbon dioxide to 34.82 as they reduce the amount of charcoal consumption to 29.32. I will now pass the presentation to Haziq.
Thank you and very good morning to all my esteemed shareholders. Today, I will walk through our financial performance. For the year ended 2023, our group recorded revenue of 3.9 million ringgit, but our PAT incurred loss of 844,000 ringgit. Although we had gone through loss of profit after tax for the year ended 13 September 2023, but the PAT for 2023 had increased compared to the PAT for the year 2022, which has reported for loss of 9.7 million ringgit. Moving on to asset, net asset per share of the year 2023 is 1 ringgit 20 cent per share, which relatively higher than 2022, which the net asset per share recorded is 1 ringgit and 16 cent per share. Our group revenue in 2023 was relatively higher than 2022. The group financial performance, group resources had grown from increase of total asset and increase of liability at reasonable level. As a result, the group net tangible asset has strengthened to the 159 million in the year 2023. The group total asset which increased from 461 million to 502 million were mainly driven by the strong performance recorded for the year. It is a positive progress of our new and existing project and investment made in our new office. Notably, all recorded on our balance sheet right now are all related. Shall I pass the mic back to Tan Sri Chairman?
Ladies and gentlemen, the company has on 15 February 2024 received a letter from the minority shareholder Watch Group MSWG containing questions relating to the company. The company has responded to MSWG on 19 February 2024. The letter from MSWG and the company's response have been made available on the company's website. Hard copies of both MSWG's letter and the company's response have been distributed to shareholders or proxies upon registration. I will pass the Q&A session to our managing director.
So, for question 1, what details are available regarding Apex Craft Manufacturing Power Plant project in Vietnam, including its scope, scale and expected impact on the company? Regarding Apex Craft Manufacturing Power Plant project in Vietnam, our company has gained 43% share price. Besides that, our wholly owned unit Song Hao Power Company Limited was awarded an 388.5 million ringgit operation and maintenance contract to Power Engineering Consulting Joint Stock 2 for site works. Our company is expected to complete this project in 4.5 years from the date of issues. For question 2, how does the BOT contract for the Song Hao 2 thermal power plant project address protection against defaults and risk, the convertibility of tariff revenue tax incentive and the financing structure? To answer the question 2, the concession period starts from the execution of the BOT contract until 25 years after the facility's commercial operation date. It may, however, be extended due to force major events and other circumstances as stipulated under the BOT contract. Under the contract, Song Hao 2 Power is granted protection against defaults on all Vietnam project counterparties, change in law and government event risk. The convertibility into US dollars of the project's tariff revenue that is received under the Power Purchase Agreement (PPA) in Vietnam's dong, after deducting all operation expenditures and the availability of US dollars in conversion, are at least 30% guaranteed by the Vietnamese government. Moreover, Song Hao 2 Power is granted various tax incentives including favorable corporate income tax rates and import duties exemption. The project will have a total land area of 117.39 hectares with a capacity of 2 times 1060 megawatts. The project cost is estimated to be approximately 3.23 billion US dollars, which will be financed via a mix of debts and equity financing. The board is still in the midst of reviewing various investment and funding options, including identifying strategic investors and other suitable parties to co-invest in the project. I shall pass the floor to Tan Sri Chairman.
Thank you, Tan Sri. And as for that, with the permission, that the letter from the MSWG and the company's response to be taken as read. Ladies and gentlemen, shareholders proxies of Apex Craft Manufacturing Berhad, the board would like to thank you for all the questions and for sharing your thoughts with us. I shall now proceed to deal with the business on the agenda. First and foremost, agenda item number 1 is to receive the audited financial statement for the financial year ended 30 September 2023 together with the reports of the directors and the auditors' reports thereon. The annual report incorporating the audited financial statement for the financial year ended 30 September 2023 together with the directors and auditors' reports thereon have been sent to all shareholders in accordance with the constitution of the company. Section 340, subsection 1A of the Companies Act 2016, the Rule 213 of the Constitution of the company do not require the audited financial statements to be formally approved by the shareholders. As such, agenda item number 1 is not put forward for voting. However, the reports are open for discussion. I will now open the floor for questions, if any, for which the board and senior management will answer or hear any view or statement which you would like to express. Ladies and gentlemen, let us now move to the remaining items of business. The resolutions starting from resolution 1 onwards will be put forward as voting. As I have mentioned in the program outline, the polling process for all resolutions tabled at the AGM will only commence after the AGM is adjourned for the polling process. We will proceed to resolution 1, that is to approve the additional payment of directors' benefit amounting to RM 73,500, which was in excess of the earlier approved amount at the fourth AGM. In accordance with the director's recommendation, I move that the additional payment of directors' benefits amounting RM 73,500, which was in excess of the earlier approved amount at the fourth AGM, to be approved by the shareholders of proceed. I will proceed to resolution 2, that is to approve the payment of directors' fees of RM 174,000 in respect to the financial year ending 30 September 2024. I invite a member to move that resolution 2 on the payment of directors' remuneration comprising fees and benefits amounting to RM 174,000 as set out on page 101 of the notes to the financial statements in the annual report 2023. Be tabled for voting. I shall continue with the next agenda. We will proceed to resolution 3, that is to approve the payment of directors' benefit up to 300,000 ringgit for the period commencing from the conclusion of the 5th AGM until the conclusion of the next AGM of the company. I invite a member to move the resolution 3 to approve the payment of directors' benefit up to RM 300,000 for the period commencing from the conclusion of the 5th AGM until the conclusion of the next AGM of the company, to be tabled for voting. I shall continue with the next agenda. To re-elect the following directors who are retiring pursuant to clause 119 of the company's constitution and being eligible have offered themselves for re-election. Firstly, Ms. Nur Adli Shazwani binti Muhammad Sufyan. Next is Datuk Muhammad Rosiman bin Abdul Nasir. Lastly, Ms. Nurul Husna binti Mansur. Ladies and gentlemen, for your information, Section 203 of the Companies Act 2016 requires the election of each retiring director to be voted on individually unless a motion that it shall be voted on as a single resolution has been first agreed to by the meeting, without any vote being given against it. We shall now proceed with Resolution 7. Resolution 7 is to re-elect Tan Sri Datuk Sri Abdul Hafiz Wafi bin Abdul Aziz, who is retiring pursuant to clause 114 of the company's constitution and being eligible has offered himself for re-election. The profile of Tan Sri Datuk Sri Abdul Hafiz Wafi bin Abdul Aziz can be found on page 8 of the annual report 2023. Shareholders can also view Tan Sri profile on the screen. I move that pursuant to the clause 114 of the company's constitution, that Tan Sri Datuk Sri Abdul Hafiz Wafi to be re-elected as the director of the company. I will move this 7th resolution to to be moved for voting. I shall now continue with the next agenda. Resolution 8 is on the to reappoint Messrs. TGS TW PLT as the auditors of the company until the conclusion of the next EGM, and to authorize the board of directors of the companies to determine their remuneration. Messrs. TGS TW PLT have expressed their willingness to continue in office. I move that Messrs. TGS TW PLT as auditors of the company until the conclusion of the next AGM, and to authorize the board of directors of the company to determine their remuneration. We shall now proceed to Resolution 9. Resolution 9 is to obtain shareholders' approval and to the declaration of a final single-tier dividend of 1.5 cent per ordinary shares in respect to the financial year ended 30 September 2023. I move that Resolution 9 as set out in the notice of AGM dated 15 January 2024 be tabled for voting. Resolution 10 is to obtain shareholders' approval to pass the following ordinary resolution. Authority to allot and issue shares pursuant to Section 75 and 76 of the Companies Act 2016. The conclusion is subjected to that subject always to the Companies Act 2016, the Act, the constitution of the company, the main market listing requirements of Bursa Malaysia Securities Berhad, Bursa Securities, and approval of any other relevant governmental regulatory bodies where such approval is required. The directors be and are hereby authorized and empowered pursuant to Section 75 and 76 of the Companies Act 2016 to allot and issue shares in the company to such persons at any time upon such terms and conditions, and for such purposes as the directors may, in their absolute discretion, deem fit, provided that the aggregate number of shares issued does not exceed 10% of the total number of issued shares for the time being of the company, and that the directors be and are also empowered to obtain the approval for the listing of the quotation for the additional shares so issued on Bursa Securities, and that pursuant to Section 85 of the Companies Act to read together with Clause 16 of the Constitution of the company. Approval be and is hereby given to waive the statutory preemptive rights of the shareholders to the company to be offered new shares of the company ranking equally to the existing issued shares arising from any issuance of new shares in the company pursuant to the Act, and that such authority shall continue in force until the conclusion of the next AGM of the company after the approval was given or at the expiry of the period within which the AGM is required to be held after the approval was given, whichever is earlier, unless such approval is revoked or varied by the company at the general meeting. I move that Resolution 10 as set up in the notice of AGM dated 15 January 2024 to be tabled for voting. Agenda item number 10 is to propose renewal of shareholders mandate for recurrent related party transactions of the revenue or trading nature with the following related parties, which are directors and or major shareholders of Apex Craft Manufacturing Berhad and or persons connected to them. We shall continue with the agenda item number 11. We move on to transact any other business for which due notice shall have been given. The Secretary has confirmed that no notice has been received by the company for any other business. I now open the floor for questions. We will deal live questions given throughout this AGM. I shall pass this session to our Managing Director.
I would like to ask if there are any structured rewards or exclusive incentive planned for the shareholders who are actively engaged in this AGM, such as online Sakupay or etc.
As this is an online meeting, we have a collaboration with Touch 'n Go e-wallet for a voucher of RM50 for all our shareholders and proxies, along with the conduct of our online AGM. The voucher can be claimed after this AGM, where you can click on the link provided by our poll administrators.
How does the company plan to maintain its focus on core business operation amid the legal proceeding? And are there any adjustment or initiative in place to ensure business continuity and minimize distraction from the lawsuit? Thank you.
The company can potentially maintain its focus on core business operations through clear communication and delegation. The company should establish clear communication channels to keep all relevant stakeholders informed about the lawsuit's progress and potential impact. Delegating responsibilities effectively can ensure core operations continue uninterrupted while a dedicated team manage the legal proceedings. Besides, by prioritizing and resource allocation, Apex Craft Manufacturing can prioritize core business activities and allocate resources accordingly that might involve temporary adjustments to budgets, staffing, or project timelines.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned earlier, polling at this AGM will be conducted through e-voting for the ordinary resolutions that are put to the vote at this meeting. The meeting will resume after the scrutineers have completed the verification of the results for the votes and upon completion of the announcement of the poll results for the AGM. We shall wait a few minutes for the process.
Apex Craft is the only one embracing the power of connected thinking. We are revolutionizing the manufacturing factory environment. Like the visionaries who break down conventional barriers to discover new worlds, we're pioneering a new connected approach to power generation. From close collaborative relationships with our customers and strategic partners, to driven technology and systems that increase yields and lower defect rates, together we grow.
Ladies and gentlemen, we shall look into the results of e-voting for the ordinary resolutions. We shall now adjourn this AGM after this polling process. Members and proxy holders would have received upon registration a wristband with the passcode printed thereon. In order for your vote to be counted, please proceed to the e-voting counters with your passcode number to cast your vote. Alternatively, shareholders who have downloaded the Tricord e-vote app onto their smartphone devices may cast their vote using their smartphones. I move to adjourn this AGM. I invite any member from the floor to second the motion. I now put the motion to the vote and ask those in favor to raise their hand. Thank you. I declare the motion carried. To all the shareholders and proxies, please claim the Touch 'n Go e-wallet vouchers after this AGM. And now adjourn this AGM. Thank you so much.